The opinions and views expressed in Political Talk belong to its commentators and are not those of Nexstar Broadcasting Incorporated, this station, or their affiliates or employees.
Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of Political Talk this week. I'm joined now by our political commentators, Tom Santulli and Dora Leland. Thank you both for joining us again this week. We're talking about police reform, some action in Washington yesterday. A Republican bill never made it to the floor of the U.S. Senate yesterday, blocked by Democrats on police reforming. There's a lot of call across the nation in the midst of discussion about police action and police brutality, about reforming. Tom, could you tell us a little bit about this bill and what happened, and what's your take on this?
Well, I mean, to put it bluntly, it's driving me crazy. You know, I look at a George Floyd who was killed, uh, and how people came together when a police officer did this, awful act of that people were outraged, and people came together, blacks and whites, and said, listen, we're not going to take this anymore. We know it's not all police, it's just some people that abuse power, and we want to do something about it. We want police reform. Yet again, yet again, Congress can't come together and get anything done. You know, the Republicans throw something out there. Senator Tim Scott puts it together. Was it perfect? Probably not. I always thought that that's what they were supposed to do. Somebody was supposed to throw something out there, and then you work back and forth to fine tune it that it meets the needs. And, I'm really starting to believe that the far left doesn't want any type of an agreement on this, that they like the things the way they are. This chaos, this confusion, that what George Floyd died for, and what we're trying to correct is getting lost, because now we seem to be saying it's okay not to protest peacefully. I mean, that's great. But now we're trying to say, especially the far left, that people that are burning things down and destroying property, that throwing things at police officers, some police officers have been killed, that it's people expressing themselves. Well, this isn't people expressing themselves. We have an immediate problem, and we need to come together, Democrats and Republicans, and solve it. Nancy Pelosi says that there's blood on the hands of Republicans. That whole statement she made that, they really don't want to work with us. It's got to stop. We got to work together. We got to get something done. This is critical. This is not politics. This is about the health of our nation and the health of our people. Let's do something. Let's get together and do it.
Some good points there. Dora, your thoughts on that? I know that the Democrats did block that GOP bill, and some Republicans were saying that they were hoping to push through Speaker Pelosi's bill in the House. What's your thoughts?
Well, first, I couldn't agree more with Tom. I think they do have to come together. Something has to happen. But unfortunately, you can't expect to pass a reform bill that really has no substantial reform in it. I think it was, quite frankly, an inadequate response to a nationwide call for action. For example, the Republican bill calls on or relies on incentivizing states to take action rather than setting, some meaningful federal standards for things like banning chokeholds, requiring uniformed officers to wear body cameras, banning no-knock warrants for federal drug cases, or, altering the qualified immunity that shields police officers from lawsuits. There was no real restrictions on the use of lethal force. And actually, civil rights organizations came out against it. The NAACP said it was woefully inadequate to affect any real change. I think, Americans have demonstrated that they want real reform, and this just fell woefully short. Now, should the Democrats have stayed on and tried to hammer out a change? Yes, I definitely think so. But I think that they realized that revising the bill would take 60 votes, which, quite frankly, just wasn't likely. It's a sad state that they cannot come together, but I do understand the reluctance from the Democrats in looking at a bill that really had no meat to it.
All right. On that note, Tom, did you want to have anything else to say towards that?
Democrats got to stand up and be counted. Whether the bill they wanted more, you talk. I only know one way to solve problems, and that's getting together and talk and working through it. This is nonsense. They wonder why they got a 17% approval rating in Congress. I can tell you why. You know what? If things don't change, there's going to be a third party in this country because people are going to get so disgusted with what they have. They better wake up.
Any thoughts on that, Dora?
Yeah, I would agree. I think both sides are so concerned. There's an election on the way. I think that's in the minds of both of them. And this is done on both sides. You know, you could look at Mitch McConnell years ago holding off a Supreme Court nomination until the next election. Yeah, we definitely are at a real sad state of politics right now.
All right. Thank you both on that. We appreciate it. Of course, for the latest edition of Political Talk, simply log on to our website, mytwintiers.com, and we'll be right back.